Hello, welcome to Project Management with Jira. Um, it is great. There's plenty of project management options out there like Monday.com, Basecamp. I don't know if they all sport the Agile keyword, but this one absolutely does. The number one software development tool used by Agile teams. I can't verify if that's true, but it is pretty damn great. So here it is. When you're logged in at a dashboard, looking at your projects, and we're going to create a new project. And what is that project going to be for? Well, I've been working on this first trillionaire Drupal website with Tailwind, and there it is. I just dev launched it because it was already running. There it is. Now, I should have did this from the get-go, I suppose, but so it'll be a bit of a retroactive project management, which is not uncommon. Um, sometimes you just want to get in and start coding, right? But when the project starts to get to a certain size, you're going to want to dive into some sort of software to help keep track, especially when you're dealing with multiple members on the team, or I mean a team. Let's go to back to projects, and I'll go ahead and show the whole screen. Now, if you're new to this stuff, and I'm sure you are if you're watching this, don't get overwhelmed by the details because it is kind of overwhelming looking at this. I can't hope to explain it all. There's docs for that. There's salespeople. If you want to just get in and use it, hit the recommended and just dive in. Create project first. As you can see, this is really cool, nice image, I guess, SVG maybe, CSS. Yeah, it's SVG. That's being updated on the fly. That's really cool. So if we use a capital F, it looks nice over there. First trillion air. And then we hit more options. FT3 over here is the key that will be used internally, so it's kind of giving you a preview of what to expect. And if you already know that's going to be the key, you're going to be staring at those letters a lot, so you better like them. So go ahead and change it if you don't like it. FTW, and then we'll hit create. I'm going to go ahead and skip past any team members or invites. The point is just to get in here and get working, and this is completely different from the previous versions I've used. I mean, this looks all updated, and it's only been a short few weeks or so since I've no, it's been a little while since I created a new project. Maybe that's why. I don't know, because I was just using Jira today. Anyhow, I think I'm recovered now. It's still all the same elements. Or perhaps it's because I used the recommended project. Okay. So I'm swimming with you here. So let's just get started. What do you do when you're creating a project? Well, you do whatever you need to do depending on the project. So we're building a Drupal website. So there's some very particular things in a Drupal website, which is, all the Drupal framework. That's not the word I'm looking for, but the Drupal world. There's site building is an actual term, or a way to describe a role of someone building a Drupal site. There's content creators. There's you need templators still, and they have to know the ins and outs of the Drupal system, generating themes, stuff like that, right? So since it is a Drupal site that we've started on already, we will create our first item, whatever that's going to be. I don't even know yet, and that's kind of the point. So we have open, these appear to just be tasks. And I lied, I guess, because I don't want to start with a task. I'd like to start with the summary, I guess. Good evening, Russell Jones. Here's where you will view a summary of first trillionaire status, priorities, workloads, and more. There's the FTW. Recent activity, breakdown, types of work. This is kind of what I was looking for. I was hoping to dive into Jira epics, broken down into stories and tasks. It's a beautiful thing, rather than a standard old school structure of, I don't know, I can't even remember, and I won't even give it any thought. Okay, there's no related projects. There is a team workload. Okay. Since we came in here on the recommended, let's see if we can change something. Projects, manage your product settings. And it is first trillionaire. Let's go to project settings. Excuse me. Now, what's going on? Move to trash? Maybe. Let's move to trash. Create project. We're going to start all over. I think I picked process control. I'm not even sure what I picked. Sometimes you just scrap it and start over. I'm not going to do that with video, I promise. But I'll give you... what do we want? None of this. I'm going to select a blank project. And we're going to call it first trillionaire again. I'll give you a warning in the comments. That's what I was trying to say. First trillionaire again. Blank project. Maybe if I expand this. Issue type. See if I look for... No, I don't want to use that. Go back. I want those epics. How do we get to the epic? Software development. Kanban, Scrum. This looks more like it. We'll try Kanban or Kanban or whatever. And if you didn't follow along, I went all the way back to project templates, where it told me, I guess it's in the trash. I'm going to trash the trash, delete permanently, because I don't want to call it first trillionaire again. Manage projects. Okay, we're back to the dashboard. It's a restart. We are how far in? I don't know. Somewhere. I'll look it up later. Create project. And then I don't want any of that made for you. We want software development, because that's what this is about. Sprint towards your project goals with the Scrum. Of course, you've heard that, and it's very tempting to click on it, but I do love Kanban. And there's the epic, stories, bugs, tasks, subtasks, everything we need for an entire software development project. Okay, project template, choose the project type. This is free or not, so we're going left with free on team. Or whatever. Yeah, I picked team managed rather than company managed. I think company management is just cost you because you get more or something. Maybe not, because there's an upgrade. Who knows? This is the one I know. Trillionaire. First trillionaire. One more time, folks. We'll leave it with FT. We're not going to connect anything. Create project. Oh, I see it now. We're 9 minutes in. Pretty bad. I guess it's typical, really, in a work day. Okay, let's do it. This is the screen I am familiar with. Now let's create something. Actually, I'm going to show you the roadmap. This is a beautiful view as well. And it's asking us right off the bat what needs to be done. And that the orange, not orange, the purple lightning bolt is an epic. Get to know your epic. and this is the first build, we'll call it, or the MVP, the minimum viable product. And from here, we can create a child issue, but it wants to make it an issue as a task. I don't want a task. I want a story. A story is the container. An epic is the big container. Story is the smaller container. Of course, task is small, and then subtask. You know what I'm saying? It's all contained within each other, like nice groups. That's best I can describe it without some illustrations. So I have to go to the settings, maybe configure roadmap. So we're going to configure roadmap up here in the top right hand corner next to export, the ... configure roadmap. And within here, I'm not going to mess with this child level scheduling. I'm not sure what that is. Details, access, notifications, automation, issue types. That's what we want. You can now see all available fields across Jira. Close. Exit tour. Thank you, but no thank you. That's too confusing at the moment. Epic, we already have that. Yes. There's a task and there's a subtask. We would like to get the story across. An epic adventure with many stories, I guess, is how you can look at it. We're going to add that bug that I saw there too, because bugs happen all the time. And that's why not call a goat or a biscuit. I can't remember what the saying actually was. So what else? Back to project settings. We have our epics, bug stories, tasks, subtasks. So we're going to go back, and we're at the board. Just to preview the drop down under epic, there's first build MVP, but we're going to roadmap. And within here, if we now create something from our epic, create a child issue, we have a drop down beside task, and there's our story. There's maybe a template that does all this, but why not build it out manually? What needs to be done? First build. Well, in Drupal land, there's templating. Anywhere there's templating. There's, like I said, site building, which is like your content types and your views. There's content. Maybe we'll do some feeds or something in there. Actually, that's probably exactly what we'll do. There's probably more. There's usually DevOps tasks, like deploying it. Maybe I'll call that deploy. So I just clicked it. It opens in a pane on the right hand side, and if you can totally edit it here. Hold on. You can totally edit it right there by just clicking it, or you can click FT5, which is the key to this task. And just to illustrate, we'll click it, opens in a new tab. And you can also rename it right here in full view rather than in a pane. So we're going to call this, what did I say? Deployment. Back to the other tab. And it's not automatically updated yet or at all. Let's refresh. Deployment is there. Okay. Now let's actually get some tasks going. As I said, or maybe I didn't say, there's also some retroactive project management to do. I mean, it's pretty common, if I didn't already say, to start a project and then much later go back and wrangle it under control. So we didn't get too far in this project so far, and it shouldn't be too much work to document a few things. Um, if you happen to be that type of person who starts at the project management level, then sure, why not have your epic and stories built out, and certainly a story for create project. And within create project, we would want to create at least one or two child issues, like set up local environment. Again, I don't like to dick around the details and just start jamming stuff in, and later, if I could reorganize it a little better, I do. But for now, I just dump the brain, right? Set up local environment, set up dev environment, set up production environment. I have not done the two last tasks, so this is already good for me. Now, let's say deployment would be maybe a child issue for set up GitHub repository, set up CI/CD. Personally, I like to use DigitalOcean, so I would need to set up a droplet, or actually maybe multiple droplets. Probably not. Best to start small. Why not use one droplet that has no traffic for powering all three of your environments? You wouldn't want to do that for any kind of real production site, but there are no real rules, right? Just be responsible when you start accepting money or user data is all I can say. Now, I haven't bothered filling in any descriptions yet, but let's just say deployment. Take care of Git repo. Yeah, just a simple summary of the tasks. Drop and droplet. We'll save that. Templating. What did we do? Actually, this is kind of a way to give yourself a little boost if you're the type of person who likes to see some of these things in progress and complete. We can add some stuff we already completed, such as, well, actually, I will go back to create project, set up local environment, description, use ddev to quick start a local Drupal 10 install. We'll save that, and we will change I did not address this little drop down, but it is, I think, quite obviously a status drop down. To do, meaning it has not been picked up. In progress, meaning it's been started. It's running somewhere. And then done. And we look at that, done. Nice little check mark. I feel a little bit better. It gives me a little invigoration. Templating. I was here, I think. What do we got to do? Add a child issue. Set up. No. Generate a sub theme. And guess what? We finished that already. Generate a sub theme. Set up. This is also not just a way to make yourself feel better, but it's an absolutely great template to start using for any other future project, or even just, you're documenting for posterity the next, if this becomes a larger project with more team members, there is a record for somebody to examine the process. There is no downsides to documentation that I can think of. Set up Tailwind CSS. Done. Okay, I'm gonna skip to something we didn't do. Like, I know there's a Tailwind JIT just-in-time module. Drupal 10 Tailwind JIT provides just-in-time compilation of Tailwind CSS for Drupal themes. I actually don't know exactly all the benefits of this, but what I am interested in is can I use arbitrary values like PT and however you say that quickly. Basically right now, because Drupal has processed the twig first, there is no way for Tailwind to know which arbitrary values it has to generate classes for, and that's it. I think that explains it. Anyhow, I want to set up Tailwind CSS JIT create, and this one is still to do. I can assign it to myself if I click the little avatar, and I don't have to save because it saved itself, but it's assigned to me now. And if I click my little avatar over here, it should filter it. No, it's not showing child issues in the roadmap. I'm not sure if that's possible, and I haven't really explored because I've been satisfied with the current setup. There is a board over here on the left-hand side under planning in the menu that you can do this with, whatever that's called. Anyhow, back to the board. No, stay out. Okay, back to the board. Here's the board with our stories. FT board, epic, first build MVP. And of course, everything stayed because they're all part of this epic. But if you have multiple epics, which does happen in larger projects, then it's all set up for you to drill down. And with the FT board, we can, this is the Kanban, whatever. We can move these in progress, back and forth, done. Apparently we can also just drag and drop the entire columns, which is great. And presumably we can also rename them if we click them, and done did. There we go. All the doohickeys to do cool stuff. I'm not going to even try to go through all those features. I just want to get through the basics of some of the project management that will help you get a project from idea to realization. It's absolutely excellent. I definitely want to create another video. I think I'm going to cut it here because there's much to cover, and we will go through the process of creating a GitHub repo and connecting it here. It's really cool when you create pull requests, just commits in general, they all show up in your tasks, and it really does feel much more agile to see live updates right from the Git repo right in the project management software. And that's that for now. Thanks for watching.